All right, so we've got our canvas here. I'm going to use this stencil and I'm going to center it the best I can. It should line up so that the very outermost line just fits inside the edge of the canvas. Now, sometimes that's not the case if you're working with a canvas that's larger or smaller. And the easiest way that I find to find the center of the circle is to, if you need to, we probably won't need to do this today, is to just draw two diagonal lines and they will intersect right in the circle. But today I'm gonna just line this up because this should fit on here just exactly in the center. And then we're going to use the marking pencil to make the lines. And what I tell myself is to use the least amount of lines necessary to get the design the way that you want it. You can certainly do every line if you want to. Sometimes with simpler designs or designs that I'm kind of freestyling or free-forming, I will just start off with a couple to keep me centered, but that's totally up to you. These lines will wash away at the end, so I'm just going to go ahead and do them all to make this look a little easier. And this pencil works great, especially on dark colors. If you decide to create on your own, you can also get a chalk pencil or just use chalk. Sometimes you can find a large pencil sharpener or a crayon pencil sharpener, and those are great for sharpening chalk. And you can use chalk as well as this marking pencil, but this pencil should last you quite a while. I've been using the same one for a long time. All right, and one of the things that I do once I make my stencil, let me move my hand out of my way so it stays in focus here, is that it doesn't go straight through the middle, and so I will finish those lines so that I know, at least in my cardinal points, I know exactly where those lines cross. And then if you want to add, like I'm just going to add these over here. Sometimes that just makes life easier to connect everything, but you can't always do that with a stencil or all the stencil pieces would fall out. All right, so this is what we're starting with today. And once you get your canvas all set up with your stencil outlined on there with your pen, you can just get your paints ready, get them open, see if they need any mixing or if they are good to go. All right, today we are going to start with the large pink. And I'm going to put the purple in the center. That's going to be my center dot. And that is the first step there. The second step, I'm going to use the blue stylus, and I'm going to use the large end. And that's going to go into my lavender paint. And at every line, we're going to put a small dot. And so there will be 16 all the way around. Again, the way I like to do things is do my cardinal points. You don't have to bounce around like this, but I feel like this helps me keep things centered. And then I'll do the one in between.
Tara, I'm sorry, which end did you use?
I use the large end.
Thank you.
I'm going to use the same stylus, the same end, and I'm going to go into my dark orange. And so for this, I'm going to add 16 dots, and it's just going to go right next to and in between each of these purple dots. Remember to re-dip after every dot. And for the next part of the design, I'm going to switch to the green stylus, the large end, and I'm going to do the light orange next. So remember, every time you dip, you want the paint to be beyond the ball, beyond the end of the ball, so you've got plenty of paint on there. And this, again, I'm going to put on the line. It would be the same line as each of the purple and in between each of the dark orange. In the next row, we're doing the same process. I'm going to use green stylus large end. I'm going to go back to my deep orange. And then for me, this puts these on the first set of lines that go across the circle. So again, in between these two orange dots. All right, we are going to go up a size. So I'm going to get my purple stick. And then we are going to go back to light orange. And we're going to do some larger dots. And so for the light orange, again, I'm going to put them right where the other light orange is. For me, that's right on each of these rays. And we're going to work our way around that way. So in between each of the dark orange is where these go. And the same purple stick. This time I'm going to use my peach paint here. And we're going to do one more row opposite of the orange. So in between each orange dot, I'm going to add one peach dot. And this takes me to that third row of the white lines. So this peach dot kind of butts up right up against that third row. And there are some really pretty mandala designs that you can get just by alternating the circles in their placement. So you could try in another design, try just alternating colors and sizes and see what you come up with for that. But this time we're going to add in some swishes and some fun designs.
Tara, what was that last, the peach? What size stick was that?
It was the purple
Okay.
stick. Same
Okay,
size. Both of the larger circles are the same size.
okay.
For the next step, I'm going to go up to my blue. So I've got my blue stick. I'm going to use my light purple. And for this one, I'm going to start with my cardinal point. So I'm going to do my north and south and east and west. And these will fall in between the peach. And then I'm going to add 4 more. So I'm going to skip a space and put one right in the middle. So there will be a space skipped, a purple dot, a space skipped, and then another purple dot. And I use the light purple for this one. I'm going to continue with my blue stick and switch to the darker purple. And I'm going to add a dark purple dot in between the 2 purple, but up 1 row. All right, once we have the purple down, we're going to start doing some, one of the types of swipes, which I call a pin. Let's see, I'm just going to flip this over because I've got some blank space here. And so when I do a pin, basically what a pin is going to look like, I'm going to show you with a really big one. So we're going to make a dot with one of the tools. And then I'm going to take my blue stylus, use the smallest end, and then pull out the paint from the bottom. So if you want to practice a few of those, you can. We're going to do a small pin with our green stylus, the fat end. So I'm going to make my dot first. And then I'm just going to use this tiny little pin end and just pull that down. And that's what I call a pin, and it's one of the types of swipes. And so that's what we're going to be doing for the next step. So if you want to practice on paper a few times, you can do that. I think this is one of the easier types of swipes, which is why I'm kind of starting with this one before we get to this more complicated swoops and swipes. And so for each step, what I'm going to do is take my green stylus, the large end. I'm going to dip into my dark purple. And right below where I have each of these large dark purple dots, I'm going to put my dot with my green stylus and then the smallest end of my blue, and I'm just going to pull that inward. So it's just a dot here. My thinnest end, and I pull that inward. So I'm going to do that for each of my purples. For the next row, I'm going to get my purple stick, lavender paint. We're going to go back to dots. So I've got my large lavender circle. This one is going to be slightly smaller and go right next to it. Again, it's going to depend on your spacing, but mine hits right about that last end line there. And I'm going to do these next to each lavender. So if you did your circles all the way out to the end, this is the second to the last one. This is the last one. This is the second to the last one. But it's more important that you just kind of follow the pattern. Just put it next to the purple. Really, as long as you do it the same way all the way around, it is absolutely okay. I know sometimes when we work our way out from a design, it needs to change just depending on how we've worked the design. I can try to make the same design a second time and it'll be just a little bit different because of spacing and that kind of thing. All right, then the next step, we're going to go back to making these pins again. And so this time I'm going to do it in a circular way all the way around the edge of the circle. And so in between each dot on these outer lines here, where we are, in between each one, I'm going to add a pin. And so on the sample, I did it with the deep orange. And so I just found the center in between the two dots, made my dot with the large end of the green stylus, and then I came back through and just pulled that outward. I thought it would be a good idea to use my phone today, that maybe my phone would be better at keeping focus. And it is not. It is frustrating me. I'm definitely going back to my camera next time. For the next step, I kind of added these little finishing touches to make it fit the square. So if you like the square look, you can do this along with me. If you like to keep it in the circular pattern, which is a traditional mandala shape, you can keep it in the circle pattern and add your top dots whenever you're ready. But I'll demonstrate how I did this end. So I used my purple stick and I used the light orange. And then towards each corner, so it should come out of this ray with the two purple dots, I left a little bit of space and I added an orange dot. In all four corners. And then I switched to my green stylus with the large end. And I'm going to add dots kind of in the shape of a triangle. So one on the outside and then two on the inside. And I'll do that for each corner. So one on the outside, two on the inside. And then the next to last step is just your top dots. And I always like to say you can do your top dots however you would like to. I'm going to change mine just slightly from the original design so I don't have two of the same thing. But I think I'm just going to keep purples on top of purples and oranges on top of oranges this time around. But I always like people to experiment with their own top dots. If you're really, if really in love with that original design, you can certainly reference that. And mine was not dry enough. I'll show you what I sometimes do if they're not dry enough. So I put my dot on top and you'll see I kind of got a half dot. So sometimes I'll just swirl that together and marble it. And then I can either dry it and start over or just work outwards and come back. Mine are still pretty wet, so I'm just gonna give this a minute to dry. That looks better. Usually it doesn't take too long. I just need to blow on it a little bit and it'll dry up. Sometimes it depends too. I know with summer coming, with that humidity comes and that will affect the dry time as well. All right, so that is how you make the Color Carnival Creative Challenge design. Those of you that are on with me, do you want to share today? I know Elizabeth finished. I think she signed off.
I can share, but it looks really bad.
It looks really. Where the heck
Let's
is it?
see. Let me spotlight you. Hold on one second. All right. That looks really good.
Wonky,
No.
but it was fun.
Yeah, it looks good. I
Well-
like it. Good job. Thank you for sharing.
Cover it up, cover me up.
All right, I see Mary next.
Apparently I can't count. I have way too many dots.
That's okay. You went dot crazy. Dot crazy is okay. I like it. I
Yeah.
like how you did the edges, the swoops into the corners. That looks good. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And we've got Shauna. Hey, Shauna.
Hey, mine's still really wet, so I didn't top dot it yet.
Okay. Did you still want to share or?
I can. How do I share it? Just take a picture of it?
No, put it right in front of you. We can see it on camera. There you go.
Ooh,
You.
that's
Very
really nice.
nice.
Very nice.
I know you asked for the practice pages. Were you practicing?
I couldn't get it I couldn't get
You
it to
didn't.
open up
Oh, really?
in Facebook. I'm not real computer literate,
That's
but I've been trying. I just practiced some when I was waiting for class start tonight, just on what we were going to do. So I still can't do them swooshes.
they can be tricky. I've been practicing even since you asked for the pages. I've been using my own pages to try to practice. So
Yeah, that's why I asked you. Could you send us some? I'm going to see if I can get my girlfriend to get it to download and print me some. But I just been trying to practice. I see a lot of people doing them with a paintbrush.
yes, that's kind of a new thing. And while everybody's on camera, I can actually show you real quick. Let me see if I can switch this to this, replace spotlight. Okay. So if you get like a round brush, what people have been doing is making a dot. And sometimes I like this, like sometimes I'm pretty good at it and sometimes not so much. And then they're going to take the edge of their paintbrush and just kind of pull around. And it works better. Let's see, I just grabbed the nearest brush to me. I don't know. See, that's not even the right brush. Let me get a thin one.
Imagine if you're doing a big one too, like a larger size.
Yeah. I mean, some people use the tiniest little brushes and they're doing them tiny, but
Yeah.
that's probably a better one there.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, after you practice a couple of them, they get pretty easy. But
Says
you
you.
it's like once you get the motion, then you just have to remember what you did and keep doing it over and over. But I always get nervous that I'm going to mess up. So, I'm going to get something I really like and then I'm going to mess it up with those big
Right.
brush strokes. So I haven't done a whole lot with it, but I have been practicing. So that's where I've been lately.
Well,
Yeah, but Shauna, if you have trouble, send me an email. Maybe I can just email them to you. Do you have my email?
I think I do.
Okay. Or you know what? I'm just gonna make a note and I'll look you up and I'll try to send you those. Maybe it's just an issue
Okay.
with the Facebook download.
Well, it says it's downloaded, but then I can't find it.
Sometimes that happens. I do the same thing.
I don't know where to go to find it. So,
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll look up your email and get it out to you so you can have them.
okay, I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for hopping on, everybody.
Okay, well, thank you. You're doing a great job, Tara.
Thank you,
Yep.
Shauna.
I just love this class so much.
Thank you so
too.
much.
See you next week, Tara.
Bye,
All right, see
everyone.
you next week,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
Mary.
Bye.
Bye.